Hi everyone, this is going to be my reading reflection number 5, and I will be doing just the first key point of each chapter. So for chapter 6 on the master poetry and Scruggs, I did the prioritized instruction, base instruction on specific prioritized objectives. So this basically just says that when you're instructing, make sure that you're focused on the objectives. Like at the end, what do the students need to know? Which I think is important because it helps guide the instruction, helps stay focused and not go off into things that won't even help the student achieve the objectives. So I just thought it was really important to make sure that as a teacher, I know what I'm supposed to be focusing on, and to also help the students understand what is the end goal. So I think it's important to make sure the students are aware of those objectives at the beginning. So for the rest of the lesson, both the students and I know what our attention needs to be focused on. For chapter 12, adapting test for students with special needs, apply CBM to monitor learning progress. Now, CBM stands for curriculum-based measurement. So essentially what happens throughout the year, you assess a student on a particular subject and you see a chart and you see if the student has increased in their understanding, if they are mastering different the different objectives, if they're just going up high. And I thought it was a good tool to use. I don't think it's the full determining factor of whether a student has mastered an objective or not. I think it's something that could be attached to something else. I think observation is also very important because ACBM doesn't measure if a student, had a rough month because of his disability or because there was issues at home, or it doesn't measure whether my instruction was according to his IEP. So I think it's something to look at, but I don't think it should determine whether the student is being successful or not. I just think it's something that helps and give a bigger picture of what is going on. It's an aid, but not the full answer. For the Zapata and Brooks chapter 2, I focused on accommodations. Now, accommodations, they're part of an adaptation. And what accommodations do, they change how students achieve an objective. Now, the objective isn't changed, which is what happens in a modification. In a modification, what a student needs to learn is different from what the rest of the students need to learn. An accommodation just means that a student will achieve a goal differently. And I always think of that quote that you can't measure an intelligence of a fish by asking him to climb a tree. I think that's how it goes. It's an accommodation just helps the student show that they do understand something, but it helps them show them in their own way. So I think accommodations are important in the way we know how to apply which accommodation should be given to a student is by getting to know the student, getting to work with the IEP team. So I think accommodations are great because they don't limit the child. If anything, they help the child show their intelligence. So